What about China? China has been very important as an investor in Venezuela. Do you see a future for Chinese engagement in Venezuela going forward?
Well, I'm sure you're aware that China lent over $60 billion to the Chavista regime and was very concerned what they were not being paid. That has been reducing significantly, and today we estimate it's around $16 billion. And certainly China has identified the huge potential in rare minerals and other natural resources Venezuela has. But as we say, we are moving into a situation in which we want full compliance, full transparency in terms of the relations with extra or international actors, not only extra-continental actors. And that's something that has been lacking in the relations with China from day one. So, we are in a process in which we need to dismantle the presence of foreign regimes, Cuba, Russia, Iran, currently infiltrated into Venezuelan institutions, not only economic activity, including the military, and dismantling also the technological platforms that have used for espionage and terror of the Venezuelan people.
In the back.
Thank you very much. My name is Toby. I go to Brown University. I was wondering, what could younger people do to help out, in your opinion?
I love your question. Thank you so much. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but 2 days ago, for the first time in almost 2 years, we saw young Venezuelans in our, 23 universities all around the country calling for civil society to speak out in support of our political prisoners and the total liberation of them. This was very courageous, very brave on their behalf. And what we saw that day is something unthinkable just a few weeks ago. So what's taking place in Venezuela is huge in terms of the repercussions it is already having in the region. I mean, when we dismantle the regime, the criminal regime in Venezuela, Cuba will be next. Nicaragua will follow. For the first time in history, we will have the Americas free of communism and dictatorship. This is huge regarding, the contribution to humanity. And I think this is a moment in which we require young people speaking out, because the fight for freedom in Venezuela is a huge contribution also for freedom around the world. And we will make this happen. I want to insist on this. We will never give up. What we have done as a society is remarkable. We've heard all along the way, Gabi, that this was impossible to achieve. And finally, here we are at the threshold of freedom because of people's will and organization, and certainly because we have the support and leadership of the U.S. government at this point.
May I follow up on something you just noted? You said Cuba will be next. Nicaragua will be next. I just wonder, does anything about that give you pause in terms of the precedent that is set of regime change? I mean, what happened in Venezuela, whether you like Nicolas Maduro or not, and I think we know where you stand on that, but it was one country sending in special forces to remove the leader who was running that country. I'm talking about more widely in the region. Anything about that? We're talking a lot about the global world rules-based order here. It's hard to square these.
But I want to make this clear. And where does the election on July 24, 2024, July 28, 2024 stands for? I mean, there was an election under the rules of the regime. conditions so extremely unjust that I'm sure those in the audience who have never accepted participating, we did. We overcame every obstacle. We had no media, we had no money, but we had organization and we won. And we proved it with 85% of the original tally sheets scanned for the world to see. So regime change was mandated by the people. Nicolás Maduro was not a legitimate president. He was the head of an international criminal structure that was, persecuting, torturing, and destroying innocent people. An invasion had taken place in Venezuela. What we had asked is support so that law could be enforced. And that's precisely what happened on January the 3rd. So I think it is time for people around the world to call things by their name, as they are. The previous structures that we had internationally did not work. I mean, over 20,000 people have been detained illegally during the Chavista Maduro regime. Over 11,000 have been executed by parallel structures of the regime. Over 2,000 cases of torture, including foreign individuals that are recently given testimony of what they suffered. Camilo Castro, a Frenchman, saying how he was even sexually assaulted while he was in prison, disappeared for months. I mean, this is still happening in Venezuela. So this is not about changing a regime for the sake of one country. This is supporting the just cause for democracy and freedom of a nation that has demonstrated its will to reunite in freedom.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.